Hey, what's up? It's Jim, and I just got back from the new film God Bless America. This guy named Frank, played by Joel Murray, who's kind of sick and tired of the way America is and kind of how cruel we all are in society, and everyone's a big idiot and a jerk and nobody cares, and everyone lets everyone's attitude be out of control. And then he comes to work, there's a girl he likes, and he's fired because he sent her flowers and let her borrow a book, and that was sexual harassment, so they fired him. And then he finds out directly after he has a brain tumor. Bobcat Goldthwait, I think, is a really great comedy director, and he's really good at taking like kind of cartoony elements. Like, it almost reminds me of like Eek the Cat. Actually, I was thinking about Eek the Cat when I saw Frank leaving the office and with his box, and the secretary gives him the book back, like a cartoon character where everything is going wrong. There's kind of a weird Kafka-esque element to the whole thing. Black comedy, it's really like sad and almost given up on the world. As a director, I feel like a major theme for him is all of society is just kind of like sick and like pathetic and like verging towards the end of the American Empire. So Frank has had it. He's lost his job, and he decides to kill one of the girls from My Sweet 16. So he goes, kills her, and becomes friends with this girl who goes to her school, who thinks it's awesome, and kind of stops him from killing himself and convinces him that they should go on a killing spree, killing all these people who annoy them. And then after that, they go into a movie theater, in which one of my favorite scenes, because I hate it when people talk in a movie theater like won't turn off their phone. It has this sick kind of sense of humor and everything, and there's certain parts as an audience member I was really relating to that. Like, yeah, fuck those guys. Like, I fucking hate that, And it does like a guy who parked his car into 2 parking spaces and he shoots him, because that's such a dicky, shitty thing to do. And people always have these attitudes about everything. The girl Roxy, like, things that really bother her. And Frank, he even says like it's just because they're mean. There's a certain charm about this film, and the dialogue, I feel like more is accomplished, and this film's way better when you have dialogue between 2 characters. When they go on these monologue rant things, by the end I felt like I was like kind of zoning out. He did it so many times, it just got a little old. The opening monologue is really, really great. I thought that was probably the best monologue, but he did so many that it just kind of lost its importance after a while. I did like, though, that I'm actually seeing a movie with a lot of monologues, which is something I haven't seen since the 90s. Every time, you think it's being slick, and he lights this thing in her gas tank, and he's walking away all cool, and he's got his cigarette in his mouth, and then he turns around, and it fell out of the gas tank, and he has to, like, run back, and he looks like kind of a doofus. Anytime I see comedies now, it's always kind of Apatow style, that, heavy improv, not many takes, cheaply made. Every comedy, especially Hollywood comedies, are really into it. And I laugh at a lot of them. I have a good time at most of them that I see. However, I think Bobcat Goldthwait, he's a real individual director in a time where I think every comedy director really wants to do the exact same thing. Not only is he darker and more satirical than a lot of those directors, and it was actually well made. I think a film like Wanderlust and Bad Teacher were made for more money than this movie, but this movie looked like it cost more, like it was actually shot well. I haven't seen a comedy that was shot well in like forever. I was thinking like, this is pretty edgy, and then they criticize people for saying edgy, but I actually do think this is like the first film in a while that like goes out of its way to be edgy and actually accomplishes it. It actually made me think about all this stuff. It made me think about, like, I felt kind of weird watching the news after this. Joel Murray as Frank, he does a really great job. I've never really been a big fan of him or anything. I've never really noticed him before or anything. And he's so good at playing the everyman who's kind of just given up. Very solemn and quiet. Joel Murray, this is a real breakout role for him, and it really makes me think of him as like a really good everyman, the fed up everyman who doesn't really want to say much, because what is there to really say? He has a sense of responsibility about himself. He's not just a crazed killer for the shock value. Like, he has a sense of morals, Tara Lynn Barr also, I thought she reminded me of kind of the enthusiasm of Barbara Stanwyck. She's another person who I haven't seen before, but I really, really liked her. Has the same kind of quick talking voice that someone like Anna Kendrick has, but when she's talking to Frank and convincing him not to kill himself, you want him to go with her and go kill these people, even though she has kind of a thing for him which she won't really act on. She has a sweetness, but kind of like an eagerness and a naivete. They had both gotten sick of mainstream society and like how kind of conformist everything is nowadays. God Bless America is, you know, one of probably the most original comedy I've seen all year. It might not be the funniest, it might not be the one I like the most or anything. I think it's a very unique and a uniquely made comedy film. This film really has a lot of guts to go as dark and satirical as it did, and I really respect it for it. This is something else. This is a different kind of comedy, and I think that's probably one of its best strengths, is that it really doesn't care what's going on, much like Frank in this movie. So if you have seen God Bless America and you would like to talk about it, then comment below in the comments, and subscribe if you would like to.